Well, and I think one of the other reasons a lot of people download, well, not for metal fans, but more for the mainstream listeners to the mainstream pop and rock and hip hop and whatnot, they put out the singles, the hit singles off of albums, where like, there's only one or two good songs, and I get a lot of people coming to me and saying like, oh, I don't want to buy the whole album because I know I'm only going to like one or two, so I'd rather just download the two singles, the two MP3s, and be done with it,
Yeah.
And as opposed to metal, a lot of, usually when you like the album, when you like a song, you like the album. That's it. You usually don't pick one or two songs off a metal album and say, oh, I don't really like the rest, because it's all similar, and
Well, plus, I mean, in metal, there really aren't singles. They're not making one song to put on the radio.
Right.
And I think that is part of the reason that the labels look so bad, because they're putting out mediocre album after mediocre album.
Yeah.
Because bands, rappers, singers, crooners, jazz artists, a lot of them, there isn't that pressure to put out a solid album start to finish, because they're going to put out one hot single, maybe they get two singles out of it, and they're just going to have people buy it because, oh, Kanye West, I mean, he's got that song, All the Lights.
Yeah.
I know that song, I love it. You buy the album, and then maybe you go, oh, what is the rest of this?
Yeah.
And it just kind of, it disenfranchised so many people. I think so many people are just kind of sick of guessing. Is the album going to be good? Is the album going to be bad? Is it like that song, or is it going to be completely different?
Yeah.
And you're right, in metal, you don't really have to worry about that. If you're a fan of Mastodon, well, guess what? You're probably going to like the whole album. You're not just going to pick one song and say, that's my favorite song, and be done with it.
Yeah.
But I think there's too many sides to this, and I don't think anyone really listens to the other side. I don't think the labels are looking at it from the fan standpoint. They're labeling people who download as thieves. It's piracy. It's against the law. They're trying to sue people for millions of dollars for downloading 100 songs.
Yeah.
Now, for the artists, for the bands, we had that interview with Arcan recently, and they basically said it's great for spreading the music.
Yeah.
And yes, these labels, these label heads are making millions of dollars. So if one kid downloads the new, I'm trying to think of a stupid album that's coming out, Lil Wayne. If someone downloads the Lil Wayne album, you know what? Chances are he wasn't going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So what is that doing to harm? That's not hurting Lil Wayne. It's not hurting the label. You weren't getting that kid's money anyway.
Yeah, if anything, you're kind of creating a fan, and then maybe, who knows, maybe he will end up going to a show or paying money to see him or whatever. So yeah, if anything, it just kind of leaves the door open to help. But another thing I want to bring up was, as far as downloading goes, we're talking about downloading and not paying for.
Correct.
But there is what's your take on downloading and paying, like iTunes, and paying for it? Because not as many people go into stores nowadays to buy the actual physical copies of CDs, and you think that's hurting the distributors, I guess?
You know what? I don't really know. I'm sure it's hurting, the retail stores.
Yeah.
But I mean, you and I think we're in that minority. I love to have the physical CD. I want to look at the booklet.
Yeah.
I want to hold the disc in my hand, because you can take that disc and do what you want with it. You can put it on your computer. You can throw it on your iPod or your Zune or your MP3 player or your phone.
Right.
That disc is yours.
And if you take care of it, then later if your computer crashes or something like that, you still have your copy where you can put it on a new computer. That's the one thing I don't like about downloading and just having it as a digital copy on my computer, is that you never know what's going to happen to your computer. What if someone comes in and steals it or something, or it gets set on fire or something?
Well, hey, I had my hard drive crash last year.
Yeah, I
lost so much stuff that I'll never get back. Stuff that I had and got rid of, whatever. But everything else I had the physical disc for, and I could go back and re-put all that on my computer into my collection.
Yeah.
But physical copies are, seem to be going the way of the dinosaurs. I mean, look at iTunes. People are all over iTunes.
But do you think I can't see them just stopping altogether on CDs.
I don't think it'll ever stop altogether.
I mean, even vinyl is kind of coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back as a collector's thing. It's kind of coming back as almost a scene thing.
Yeah.
But I think, in reference to that, I remember reading an interview with, of all people, Weird Al. And someone had asked him, how do you get more money on your album? Do you get more if someone buys the physical CD, or do you get more if someone buys it on iTunes? And I think general knowledge would think he would get more if it's on iTunes. Because there's no manufacturing cost to factor in. It's basically free money. The music is uploaded, they download it, you get money.
Yeah.
Yet he actually said that artists get a higher percentage on physical sales than they do on digital sales, which seems so strange. Considering all the extra expenses that have to go into it.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as downloading and paying, I'm not sold on it. It obviously seems to be doing well. People are all over iTunes, Amazon, etc. But I'm not sold. I like the disc.
Yeah.
Especially so many metal bands have such great packaging and art. Look at Symphony X when Paradise Lost came out. The packaging on it was just fantastic.
Yeah, that was cool.
And by no means are we advocating illegal downloading. I think we are in consensus here that it's okay for a sampling purpose. It's okay to expose yourself to new artists, but if you want this music to survive, if you want the bands you like to survive, you got to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
You have to, or go to a show and buy the shirt. But if you aren't buying the albums, then don't be surprised when your favorite bands get cut from their labels and disappear.
Yeah.
But I think that's the big question. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. You never leave us any comments, so maybe this would be the good time. Are you a downloader? We're not cops. We're not going to report you. We're not going to sue you.
We just want to know if you think we're right or wrong, or do you agree with us? Do you understand where we're coming from?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of downloader are you? If you are a downloader, do you buy physical copies? When's the last time you went to a store and bought a CD? What was the last CD you actually paid for?
Yeah.
It's all interesting questions. But I think along that line, there are so many great albums coming out the rest of this year. And we were kind of making our wish list earlier. You're looking forward to Arch Enemy.
Oh yeah, that comes out. Well, it's already out in some countries.
Oh yeah, in Europe.
And
Yep.
it's coming out in America June 7th.
Yep.
Is the release date for it.
But we got new Symphony X and new Draconian.
Yep, and new Opeth in September, right?
Oh, that's right, September 20th. The album, they just announced the track listing, the album name, and they released the cover work. Heritage is the name of the album. Mm-hmm. You should definitely read the interviews with Michael Ackerfeld. He has a lot of interesting things to say about the album. What did he say? If he had to compare this album to any other band, it would be Opeth.
Oh, yeah.
That's something only he could pull off, but... there's just so much stuff coming out this year, and you remember when we first started, when I first started trying to get you into metal, what did I tell you? Every week, every month, every year, It's a good year for metal.
Yep.
You just can't go wrong. When one band has an off year, there are 50,000 other bands to pick up for it.
Yep, and new bands always coming out.
And look at everything we've reviewed on the site. Some of these bands you've never heard of, some of these bands we had never heard of, and we've exposed ourselves to so much. And it's really great. So you can never. There's no off week. This past week in stores, My Dying Bride's new album came out. That was a great one too. I know you were.
Oh, I love it.
You've been shedding tears of joy for that album for a week now.
It's great, fucking great.
So as usual, if you do want to buy the albums, you want to spend a couple bucks. We have our store link at the top of the page there.
Yep.
Make sure you click on that. Check out the albums. $10 or less for just about everything. Some of them. I know Officium Triste was on sale this week for $5.64. Amon Amarth has been $5 forever.
Yep, and we'll keep posted on more good sales as we see them.
Yep. Keep an eye on our Facebook. When there's a good sale on a title that we've reviewed, it'll be there. Everything we review that is available on Amazon is in our store.
Yep.
Which is 90% of what we review, with the exception of Mermaiders. Little-known black metal bands who you might have to send carrier pigeon to get the albums, but we assure you...
Go to Norway.
Yep, it'll be worth the money. It'll be worth the money. So make sure you check that out. One last thing I want to mention before we tie some things together, a couple little things. Number one, remember, if you want your band or album reviewed, or you're a label and you have a band you want us to review, send it to our email, sorroweternalblog@gmail.com. You'll talk to our marketing and PR person, Christine. She can set up interviews, reviews, you name it. She can set it all up for you. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this podcast right now, you are listening in one of three ways. I guess one of four ways. Either A, you're streaming it from our YouTube site embedded in our blog. Mm-hmm. You have downloaded it from our Mega Upload account. you are peeking in the Sorrow Eternal headquarters window and listening to us as we're doing this. And if you are, I feel sorry for you because it is hot as shit up here today.
Yeah, I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah, and number 4, we are now going to be played on Light and Darkness Radio.
Yes, that's right.
Which is part of the Live 365 Internet Radio Network. Our buddy over there is featuring our podcast Sundays and Wednesdays at 8. So make sure you check that out. Listen to his station. You listened to it the other night for a while.
For like an hour straight. I loved it, yeah. There's a couple new bands I never heard of. They played some older stuff that I liked. They played Nevermore. It was good. I liked it.
Definitely check it out. I mean, he's doing a great job over there, and we're really looking forward to being partnered with him. And you know, we actually have his widget on our site now. You can
yeah, at the top right.
Yep, you click on that, and it'll take you right to the station, and it actually keeps like a now playing list, so you can see what he's playing. Definitely some great stuff. Guy's got good taste, I'll say that. No, It's not us. This is a man of his own, doing a great job. So make sure you check it out. Light and Darkness Radio on Live 365. Mermaid, do you have anything else you want to add this week?
Is it me or does it smell like good, bro?
What's good, bro?
Not much, bro. What about you?